How you doing, everyone? This is part 2 of class. Men that grew up without a father. Or better yet, the results of men that grew up with a father. However you want to look at it, but that's basically what that is. So, before we get into it, I'm Chocolate Amun Ra, and this is class. Now, I want to go right into it because I don't want to go through all these different concepts of I'm not this and I'm not that. I said enough. I already told you from the beginning, so I want to jump right into it, waste no time. The results of men that grew up without a father. And we need to understand many different obstacles, many different things why there's problems in not having a father. Fatherless. This is not great. It's not damn sure great for no daughter. The son grows up hating his daddy because he's not around. He has no one to guide him. Listen, this is some serious stuff here. And this is why I said this here, that this has to be an open forum. This little platform that I have of being a messenger, and I'm using the elder brother Pharaoh to give his illustration. And like I said before, I'll be popping in and out to give my inputs. So from that point on, we got to work together to figure this thing out. But I believe the maturity of men has grown tremendously. I believe that. My father was a good father. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good man. Okay? I'm the best I possibly can be. And I don't live with my oldest child, but I'm there for her when she needs me. I will sacrifice myself when she needs me. And I made sure that I've kept a relationship with her mother, a respectful relationship, respect and honor relationship, so the communication flows accurately and comfortably. Let's understand that. You as a man, you got a responsibility. Okay? We're not here to always put it on the woman. And you women, you have to take responsibility too, because a lot of you do a lot of mischief things and keep the boat rocking between you two. And then that man says, listen, I'm tired of all this. This is not working for me. Especially if he's one of those men that really loves his child. Honestly. So we got to be careful of how we deal with this because it's delicate. But I'll say this and I'll say it again. These are things I don't think we talk about in church and a lot of these institutions. We don't. I can say, in fact, because the background that I come from, in an open forum, it wasn't like they had this conversation and everybody in the congregation was participating in fatherless or fathers that wasn't there. It's not always about the Bible. See, this is where I always find out there's a lot of issues and problems in dealing with reality. We try to figure out, let's use the Bible. Let's use the Bible. What scripture you going to find out that the father walked away from his wife and his children? And how he'll be able to come back? Or how can that father still keep a relationship with his children and have a respective and prospective relationship with their mother without no sex? This is the world we're living in. We can sit up there and go, well, the man's supposed to be the head of the house, and what he said goes, and so on and so forth. We're not living in that world no more. We need to stop playing these games. Let's get into the brother Pharaoh, the elder. Part 2, the results of men that grew up without a father. We're going to get deep in here. I hope you're ready.
And you got to always see her to deal with the kids. You'd rather just not fucking deal with the kids. Okay, this is just a fact. So, don't be no female asshole, and then maybe a man will come around and deal with the kids. But at the same time, like I said, this is variable because you got a lot of fathers that's just worthless because they never had a father in their life. So a lot of times, your father is a victim of the same thing you other. He's from a generation where he didn't have a father, and his father didn't have a father. So you're mad at him, but he never was taught how to be a father. So that's why I say you got different variables. So we're just going to concentrate on the results and what happened when you don't have a father. Now, it's very important to realize that in nature, there's more women than men, like 25-1. So in my life, where I had a mother and a father, I would still be around what? More women. My mother, my sister, all my aunties. Yeah, I had uncles that come around, but on your average, you're going to be around more women. So now if you got a situation where you're a young man and you're already around more women, and then the father is removed, now you're getting this female influence all the time. Now, unless a woman is conscious of this, she's not going to be able to make up for that masculinity that you need. And a stepfather is no good unless he's in a relationship before you're 3 years old. If a stepfather comes around and you already know he's not the father, then it's limited on what he can do for you. Even if a stepfather comes around and you're under 5, and you're 3.5 or whatever, if the father's still around or there's any knowledge of the father, that confuses the kid, and the stepfather is basically doing a job that is basically a job that gets no fucking respect. It's a thankless job being a stepfather, okay? Because the children will always grow up to long for their real father, and you're just a fucking make-believe fucking daddy and you're only daddy when you're fucking spending money, but when it's time to listen to what you got to say, then all of a sudden you're not the daddy. So that doesn't too much.
Well, I agree with the brother, the elder, Pharaoh Alton. The reason why I agree with it because I've lived in those shoes. I've been a stepfather. And it's fact. If you don't have that child, when you get into that family life and the woman already got kids, you really don't have no power. The children really gotta start to grow on you. Like they gotta grow, the children gotta grow on you. And you gotta be a respectful but stern man. I want you to pay attention to me clearly on this note. Because a lot of stepfathers, they can't really make no maneuver or movements, especially when you come into the discipline factor. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times the women, when she do get herself another man, it's not more to play the father role figure, meaning it's to play a role of financially secured a little, if you will. I mean, I know there's some great stepfathers, I know, okay? And like I said, it's not for everyone, but you really, as a stepfather, you really have to have unlimited patience. Unlimited patience when you step in that world, because you gonna have problems. Now, it worked out for me pretty good, simple fact, because I already had a child first. See, I had a daughter. I mean, I got my daughter, but since I had my daughter, I allowed the other children to know that you ain't gonna do nothing that I already know. Simple fact, because I have a daughter. And once I introduce my daughter to the other children, guess what? All the issues begin to come down. The simple fact is they know now, wait a minute, he has a child. So he already know how this thing is going to be working out. This is what you understand. This is why it's very important to, according to this issue, to stay in contact with your children. Because if you and that mother ain't making it out, but still your child can help you out just by being a face. And being a face, like letting the other children know from that relationship that I understand your issues. I have a daughter or a son, and I can deal with that. But like the elder states, listen here. When you meet, especially when you meet a lot of these mothers with children, it ain't always peaches and cream. So don't get it twisted. So let's get right into it.
Stepfather, but for the most part, that's if the father's just not around. But if you got a situation where it's a father and he's still kind of sort of around showing up, that eliminates the power of the stepfather. So when you have these young men, they grow up under these women. They're basically raised by women. And this is more common than you think. So they're raised by women. All their mannerisms are like women. Everything they think is like women. And they have a resentment for their fathers. They grow up with their natural resentment. And then you live in a society that even if you grow up with a mother and father, like I said, you live in a society that's male-dominated, and they want to keep the men down. This is why you can watch the sports. You can watch football, baseball, basketball, and these guys will hit a home run or do something great, and they'll look into the camera and say, "I love you, mama." And they'll have a father, but the father gets no respect. You can look right now, and Mother's Day is way bigger than Father's Day. Father's Day is a fucking joke. Okay? Mother's Day is the big day. Oh, mama, 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 mama. Father's Day is played to the curb. This is done by the system. Because the men at power, they want to keep other men down. It's designed like that. It's designed for you not to like the men. It's designed to make the men have low self-esteem so that the men that run the world can stay on top and not be challenged by other men. So these young men are growing up feminine. I mean, look at young men today. They got on yellow, pink gym shoes. They dress like girls. They act like girls. Their mannerisms are like girls. They got dreadlocks. They got them dyed red and orange and yellow and gold on the tips. They're basically females. Homosexuality is through the roof. The men, they only look towards women. It's so bad that you have men that represent what they call represent Kemet. And they're saying that the black woman is God. And they make absolutely no mention of men at all. Men don't even exist in their conversation. You have to wonder about a man that has a conversation about women and does not have a conversation to make men feel great. They have a conversation to make women feel great. And if you look at 99.9% of these men in the conscious community that say the black woman is God, you will see that they was raised by their mother. They don't have a father. When you watch and listen who they mention in their conversation, they're going to say, "I love you, mama." They're going to say, "Hi, mama." They don't have a father. So in their lives, yes, their mama's God, because that's the only person they know. I mean, just look at dating or looking at dealing with women. You see, if I go in and meet a woman, we go out on a date. As soon as I have sex with her, she starts acting like I owe her something. You know why? Because all the value is put on the vagina. Even sex is being taught that the woman is the greater aspect of the sex. The vagina is given more respect than the penis. The fact that the penis has the sperm and that the penis goes inside of the vagina to make these babies and make this all happen is totally ignored. Even when you come to having a baby, if my son gets a woman pregnant and she finds out and she's 2 months pregnant or a month and a half pregnant, my son cannot say, hey, I'm trying to go to school, I'm trying to get myself together, I'm not ready for a baby. No, he cannot sign a paper and opt out. But the woman, if she wants, she can go and kill the baby. She can opt out, but the son can't. Not only that, or she can have the baby and force the son to have to pay child support to take care of the baby. This is what happens when you live in a male-dominated world that wants to keep the other men fucked up. Because there's no way you can show me how a woman can opt out, but the man can't. And use the excuse that, well, it's her body. Well, if it's her body and she just want to have the baby, even though he don't want to have it, why the fuck she don't take care of it by her motherfucking self? You can't say that, oh, he had sex with her, so he's got the responsibility to take care of the baby when she could turn around and kill the goddamn baby. So these men grow up, they're feminine as hell. They're around women, okay? Now, the system knows that it beat the man down. So what happens is once the system beats the man down, they take a bunch of women and make the women the main characters on the television. Oprah, Basketball Wives, Atlanta Housewives, you see? So now they know that these women are taking care of these men, so they have these women watch these shows and get brainwashed. So the women watch shows where all they do is argue, fuss, and fight, right? The men grew up watching that. So this is why the men fight so much. They're so argumentative. They've been watching nothing but their mother do that. All of us that grew up with a mother and father know that your mother is more likely to be argumentative than your father. When my mother and father would get into an argument and my mother would start saying something, my father would just rub his face and say, do that. He wouldn't feed into it, so the argument would just die because it takes two to tango. He wouldn't be there like a little bitch. I have men that are so bitchified, the results of not having a father, that they don't like a video, they make 10, 15 comments like they on their fucking period. Men are hitting women in public. Men are arguing with women in public. Men are arguing with men on social media. Men are walking around dressed like girls, okay? Even when you start talking about on the Afrocentric level, and you see these men want to wear these long African gowns and all these bangles and shit switching around, they look like fucking Fruity Tooties. It has affected men all across the board, whether they're Hebrews, Rastas, Kemetic, white, black, Hispanic, Christian, whatever. Men have been feminized by the rich men that run the world. They have intentionally feminized the men. And the result is that you have men that are very weak, that won't do anything. This was the plan.
Excuse me. All right, now listen. My opinion on that aspect is this here. Either we gonna straighten up and do what we have to do as men. And I agree with the elder. Going across the board, men have changed. I mean, I see more men now pushing carriages, having 2 and 3 different babies in these little sacks, one behind him, one in front of him, pushing the carriage. He convinced some of his boys to do the same thing, and then you be seeing the women 5-10 feet behind, chit-chat with her girlfriends. Or some, you don't see him at all. You see the guy jogging with the baby, or he on a bicycle with the baby. You know? It's incredible. It's really incredible. So, yeah, I gotta really think about these things here. What have we done to walk right into this whole concept? And it's across the board. But my meaning is dealing with the black man, and this is what my class is about. And if you know, if anybody else from different cultures are watching this, across the board. But we got to understand that the man has got soft, weak. You don't even see men having decent conversations with other men. I see it. They sit there, they arguing, they fighting, you know, cursing each other out. Men calling each other bitches. Oh, I'm not the only one. Now, when it comes to the conscious community, when you say the woman is God, that, I understand why he said that. But he called her a goddess. You see, sometimes people take the word God and literally stop putting their head like, why are you calling her a god? Which the elder's correct. She's supposed to be called a goddess. And a lot of times I think the word is being used out of its content. Like when you see me put on my post, God and goddesses. If I'm writing to somebody, a female, I'll say goddess. I'm not going to call her God. Because the man is God on earth. The woman is a goddess on earth. Let's get this clear. Let's don't pretend like we don't know what time it is. So according to the elders, his words, he's correct. We shouldn't be telling the woman she's God and that's it. She's a goddess. Like I'll show you an example. When I'm writing to somebody or typing something, I go goddess. I never give her the perspective that she's a god. As a man, she's a goddess. I understand the conception of what is being used. So, a lot of men, you know, the women, they help transform a lot of these men too. A lot of these men are transformed because if you got him in like in a bitchy state, you got your man in your house, and all he is just a penis to you. Let's get into that. All that man is just a penis. You buying him video games and all this kind of stuff, and he don't want to work. So what he does, sits around and play video games, you feed him, and next thing you want him to get in bed with you. He's your boy toy. He's your boy toy. And then, you know, you convince your girlfriends, oh, I love him. You know, but he in the house playing video games. You got children. He played them in video games more than the kids. Let's keep it real. Let's go back to the elder, though.
And they know you're not a soldier, so what they said, we're going to start drafting who? Women into the military. What does that tell you when you live in a system that started drafting women into the military? That tells you that they have totally feminized the men. What happens when you feminize the men? You what? You make the women what? Masculine. So these rich people have developed a system where they get women and have 8 babies and have a big mansion, but have talked you into having an abortion and have just one child, if you have children at all. Because they're trying to make you be a bunch of homosexuals, so you got to go rent a baby. Okay? They are totally ruining the family structure and totally eliminating the position of the man in society so that the filthy rich man can stay in control. And he stays in control by making the women second in command under him. So you're living in a world where the women are running their mouth a whole fucking lot. They got too much, they talk too fucking much. They're in too much of a power situation, and they're too busy punking men all the time. They only do this because they live in a system that is ran by rich European men, so they allow all the other men to be oppressed, to be stomped on and trampled on by women. That's why the scriptures say in the last day, what? Women shall rule them and children shall lead them. It's been set up like that. It's getting to the point where they're going to even put the children over the women next. And they got the children calling 911 on the mama. And they got the children spying on the parent. It's only going to get worse. So the results of this is the men, they don't know how to be men. Men watch my video and cannot make a comment like a warrior, like a king. They come and they immediately, now I'm just talking in general, but these men, they make a comment and they want to call me names. They want to internet wolf. Men are so sissified now that they won't even fight one-on-one. They're jumping people, hitting people from behind. Just real feminine shit. Because they don't have no fathers. And because they didn't have no fathers, they're mad at the world. But when you see people say, oh, you elders, you old dude, you elders, they're not really mad at me or mad at the elder man they're talking to. They're mad at their fathers. And so this is why you'll see so many men end up drug addicts, alcoholics, all type of worthless behavior. Some of them will be whoremongers because they're trying to sleep with woman to woman to woman to try to feed that. And the system manipulates this situation because the men have become powerless. So they got the men where they run around on Valentine's Day trying to do all this stuff for the women, but there's no day to match where the women do a damn thing for the men. And the men allow this because they don't have fathers. You know, you got Valentine's Day, that's for the women. And men don't get no respect on Valentine's Day, okay?
How you doing, brothers and sisters? Listen, the elder was dropping the science. Dropping the science. And when you need to understand something to this clearly, understand this clearly. What the elder and I are doing, we're not trying to point fingers. We want you to understand why we have problems. I don't want you thinking, oh, you're talking about the woman, you're disrespecting her. No, it's why men have problems and they grew up without fathers, and how damaging this has become to our society. You know what I'm saying? And women can't see. A lot of women cannot see this. They'll have sex with this man, that man, bring another man, live in the house with her, just because it's all about, I need somebody to love me. She only thinking for her vagina. Let's stop playing games. This is real. You know what I mean? Some women like, I'm looking for a father figure for my children. But she don't know who no father figure is. She thinks she knows because he has to be nice. Being nice don't mean a goddamn thing. Let's keep it real. You chose the fucking bum the first time, one. Number two, you probably was the bum yourself because you're sitting there give him a hard time. He try to work with you over and over and over again, and you don't want to. You want to work with him because you want to try to capitalize him and control the man and what you want him to do. You ain't being compromising. These things is real. If we don't get a hold of this thing, it's way out of control. And just like the elder was talking about with all these holidays, how, you know, the man's being disrespected, the Mother's Day, it's a shame, crying shame. Mother's Day, you got all these commercials, Mother's Day, blah, 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 blah. The man got to buy her diamonds, rings, and this and that, all that kind of stuff. Father's Day comes, oh, the father, give him the big piece of chicken. He's fine. Real? And sometimes a lot of these kids, like, they act like it's Father's Day, like you supposed to take them out. I've seen it. One of my daughters tried to play that shit off to me. It's Father's Day, what you gonna do? I said, excuse me? Listen, I don't really believe in all that because every day is Father's Day. But if you want to do something, you go right ahead. But I ain't spending my money. You out of your mind? Where we get this concept from? All right, brothers and sisters, gods and goddesses. This is part 2. We ain't. I know a lot of y'all don't like what you're hearing, but we need to put this work in. We're gonna go to 3. Chocolate Amun Ra. See ya.